42 months, gross motor, sub-skill, stands on one leg for 5 seconds without holding on to anything. Test and judgment criteria. The examiner demonstrates how to stand on one leg without holding on to anything. Then ask the child to do it. Perform the test 3 times. Pass. The child is able to stand on one leg by himself or herself for 5 seconds at least once out of 3 times. Gross motor, sub-skill, catches a ball by wrapping his or her arms around it. 2. A 15 cm diameter ball. Test and judgment criteria. 1. The examiner stands 2 meters from the child. 2. The examiner tells the child to catch the ball by wrapping his or her arms around the ball, and then throws the ball to the child. Pass. The child can catch and hold the ball at least once in 3 attempts. Fine motor, sub-skill, identifies 3 types of geometrical shapes. 2. 3 sets of different shaped geometrical blocks. Test and judgment criteria. 1. The examiner places the 3 sets of objects together on the desk, mixing up the shapes and sizes. 2. The examiner demonstrates how to put each type of shape together and says, "I will put all the circle blocks together. I will put all the triangle blocks together. And I will put all the rectangle blocks together." 3. Gives 9 blocks to the child and asks the child to separate them. Pass. The child is able to correctly identify 3 types of geometrical shapes. Fine motor, sub-skill, puts a 3-piece jigsaw puzzle together to make a picture. 2. A jigsaw puzzle with 3 pieces. Test and judgment criteria. 1. The examiner lays a complete jigsaw puzzle in front of the child and says, "Look at this picture." 2. The examiner mixes up the jigsaw pieces and asks the child to put them back together to make the picture. Pass. The child is able to put the jigsaw puzzle together correctly as the picture, at least once out of 3 times. Objective: practice concentration and joining pieces. Fine motor, sub-skill, draw circles by following patterns. 2. 1. A piece of paper. 2. A pencil. Test and judgment criteria. The examiner shows the child a piece of paper with circles drawn on it and says, "These are circles. You draw a circle for me." Pass. The child is able to draw a circle following the pattern. No edges, not concave, and the intersecting lines do not overlap by more than 2 centimeters. Receptive language. Sub-skill, correctly places an object in front of and behind as instructed. 2. 1 doll and 1 wooden block. Test and judgment criteria. 1. Place a doll in a sitting position in front of the child. 2. Hand the wooden block to the child and instruct him or her to put the block in front of the doll. Take the block away. Put the block behind the door. 3. Repeat another 2 times by switching in front of or behind each time. Pass. The child is able to correctly place an object in front of and behind on 2 out of 3 occasions. Remarks do not prompt by gesturing. Receptive language. Sub-skill. Categorize clothing. 2. Categorization cards. 1. Animals. 2. Food. 3. Clothes. Test and judgment criteria. Combine and mix up all the pictures from each category. Total of 9 cards in front of the child, and then say, "Give me the clothes." Get the child to only pick the 3 picture cards. Pass. The child correctly chooses clothing cards on 2 out of 3 attempts. Expressive language. Sub-skill talks about a recent event, test, and judgment criteria. Ask the child, "What did you just do?" Pass. The child is able to tell about at least one event that happened 10 minutes ago to an adult of his or her age. Expressive language. Sub-skill says want or please or thank you or for you spontaneously. Test and judgment criteria. 1. Ask the parents whether the child is able to see want or please, thank you or for you when he or she wants or receives something from other people. 2. Before giving objects to the child, observe if he or she says want or please. 3. Observe if the child is able to say thank you after getting desirable objects. 4. When the child has an object in the hand, observe or ask the parents if the child has ever spoken and given the object to another person or not. Pass. The child can say want or please or thank you or for you spontaneously on 2 out of 3 occasions. Personal and social. Sub-skill able to correctly say his or her gender. Test and judgment criteria. 1. The examiner asks the child, "Are you a girl or a boy?" Say the child's gender first to avoid the child copying the last word or sound. 2. Ask the child his or her gender by randomly switching the order 2 more times. Pass. The child correctly says his or her gender 2 out of 3 times. Personal and social. Sub-skill puts a shirt on independently without buttoning. 2. A button front shirt. Test and judgment criteria. The examiner asks the parent if the child is able to put a shirt on independently. Pass. The child is able to put a shirt on by himself or herself. No need to button up.